Greetings and welcome to Tabloid Talk, brought to you by Tabloid TV, a show where we unpack the important stuff. I am Masood Boomgaard. Like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below and the bell icon to ensure that you get a notification every time a new video is added. He left journalism to pursue a career in the arts. He's both nationally and internationally recognized as a stand-up comedian and actor who has also dabbled in doing skits to promote businesses in a funny way. And wherever he is, you will almost always find his collaborators Logie Naidu and Bash with Tesh with him. They together have a large following on social media. He's the funny man who brought you movies such as Attack of the Indian Werewolf and Curry and Rice. The burly gentle giant is an actor, producer and director ready to bring to the silver screen his latest installment. More about that movie during the interview. Today my Tabloid Talk guest is, well, you're going to have to watch this clip and you're going to know exactly who he is. Stay tuned and we will be right back.
These Pakistanis are magnificent. They diversify in their business. You can get a chicken tikka and a haircut in the same place. Sometimes by the same guy. I went to a Pakistani restaurant. This guy was so busy. I went for a haircut. What do you want? Number two. Sit down, number two. What do you want? Got a chicken tikka? Coming 2 minutes. Not your hair, chicken tikka. At one point he got so confused, he started shaking the chicken. And they sell everything in those small shops. Hey, one day the guy walked into MY Diners like, give 2, got a chicken tikka, 3 DVD, 2 passport, 1 marriage license. Just don't ever get your hair cut by the Pakistanis when Pakistanis actually playing cricket. They will mess it up. That guy was looking at the TV, cutting my hair, hey, not focusing on what he's doing. I've really took a catch. He got so excited, he cut a moon and a star in the back of my head. They're the masters in everything. When it comes to fixing your cell phone, you don't go to some fancy place in the mall. No. You get your phone fixed by Muhammad Ali in a chicken tikka cart in Queen Street. He doesn't even need the right parts to fix that phone, but he'll fix it in under 20 minutes while cutting hair and making chicken tikka. I took my phone to the Pakistani for repairs. I gave him my iPhone 6. He used so many fake parts, he gave me a Samsung Galaxy back.
That's him. You saw him. That's my guest in the studio today. He's my guest in the studio today. Welcome back to Tabloid Talk. I am Masood Boomgaard. International stand-up comedian, actor, writer and journalist. You will most likely always see him with his collaborators Logie Naidu and Bash with Tesh, who together have amassed a strong following on social media. If he's not on the stage here locally, then he's sandboarding in the dunes in a desert somewhere or performing on stage in countries like Australia, the United Kingdom, Dubai, and the United States. One of his first feature films where he made his directorial debut and also wrote the screenplay was Attack of the Indian Werewolf. This came after he decided that he needed to rediscover his passion for the arts following his career as a journalist. Curry and Rice was also another movie that he co-directed. And for his third installment, well, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that a little bit later in the interview. Today, my funny man guest in the studio is Masood Boomgaard. Masood, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. What a beautiful intro.
No, lekker. I can write, but
you were talking about performing on stages in Australia and the UK. That seems like such a distant memory to me.
Yeah.
This year, the furthest I went was Maritzburg. So
you won't be making it to the beach this year because of COVID and all of that.
Yeah, but good to be here.
No, lekker. Thanks for coming, man. From journalism to the arts, how's that journey been?
It's been an incredible journey. Journalism seems like a long time ago. But it was a different chapter in my life, and I've always had a passion for the arts. Always knew that I wanted to end up doing something in entertainment or in arts. And of course, when I was preparing to study for a career, I needed something a little more substantial, especially with the pressure you get from parents and all of that. So I said, I enjoy writing. I follow the news. Let me try journalism. And that's exactly where I started. And we are today, we are tabloid newspapers. This was one of the first places that I ever applied my trade at as a freelancer. I don't know if people know that.
No, I didn't.
So I got a long running relationship with Tabloid. And I went from being a freelancer to eventually working at the Sunday Tribune newspaper. But of course, my passion and my side hustle was the comedy thing.
Yes.
And eventually movies. So it's been a very long journey, and I'm grateful that I eventually got to where I wanted to be, is where I am now. Even during this pandemic, I still feel I'm happy with the choices I've made, and I've still been able to do my thing as an entertainer, even during lockdown. So it's been fantastic.
The unique thing about you, I mean, from journalism to being a stand-up comedian, you submerge yourself in movies, and you also been doing some skits for business people, and they're sort of advertising thing, turning it into a sort of an oddball kind of a funny commercial. But I want to talk about movies. Why did you choose the path of movies?
Well, I've always loved movies. I mean, everybody has some sort of relationship with movies. For me, most people are just happy to watch movies. For me, I wanted to be part of that process. Movie magic is what they call it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be physically involved with it, and eventually I did walk that path. And to answer your question, I think it was that passion for films, and the fact that I used to watch a lot of films, and had a whole lot of useless trivia. But I think that I just was very interested in how they actually came into existence. The creative process of it, and I always wanted to bring my own kind of stories to the screen, whether the small screen or the big screen or whatever. So it was about pursuing an interest in movies in general.
Masood, local movie makers like yourself, right? Obviously, the battle must have been hard, and unfortunately, and I want to bring this up. South African audiences are very sort of particular, and they tend to shy away from, for want of a better phrase, like movie makers like yourself, or it would be me making a local movie, because I think we're too sort of absorbed by the kind of, and I want to use the name like the Leon Schusters of the world, of South African movie makers. And I think that's a little bit unfortunate for guys like you who want to come through. How tough has that battle been, bringing your movie to the silver screen?
Yeah, what I will tell you is it's a lot easier now to make a film and to get it distributed than what it was 10 years ago for various reasons. You mentioned Leon Schuster. I mean, he definitely was a pioneer, and he was a giant, or he still is a giant of South African cinema. And for the longest time, that was our only reference for South African movies. Since then, obviously, with funding becoming available, and the availability of equipment, you've had like more filmmakers come through, and I mean the tradition of South African cinema, I mean, it's just grown in leaps and bounds. And we make great films here. I mean, we have all the technical expertise, all the talent. Everything is here. We don't need anything, else to compete with Hollywood from a technical point of view. But what we can't compete with is the Hollywood marketing machine, which is why South Africans still prefer to watch the big Hollywood movies as opposed to our local movies. But I would say that comparably, I would say every country is like that. Everyone still has that kind of bias towards Hollywood. But from a technical point of view, our films are brilliant, and I think audiences enjoy watching local films because the characters are relatable, and the locations and the storylines and all that kind of thing. Why I say it's a lot easier now for South African filmmakers to get their stuff out is because, first reason, equipment is a lot more freely available. And the cost of equipment's come down, which has brought down the cost of making a film. That's one reason. I'll give you a simple example. When we shot Curry and Vice 7 years ago, we had to actually get a physical helicopter to get aerial shots of Durban.
And now you're using drones.
Now we got drones, you see, so that's a massive difference. And I mean, to hire a helicopter was phenomenally expensive back then. So you got drones. So technology is a lot more freely available. So you can technically, if you have a story, just go out there and just make it. From a distribution point of view, for the longest time, cinema and traditional television was the only way of getting your film to people. And for the longest time, they were kind of like the gatekeepers. They decide what got out there and what didn't.
But now we've got social media.
Exactly, that's changed now. You got social media. I mean, you can shoot a film literally,
on your smartphone.
On your smartphone. In fact, people are doing it. There are people, over the last couple of years who've shot entire films on iPhones. And I mean, if you look at the average camera now on a high-end smartphone, I wouldn't call it the average camera, but the cameras that these phones are coming with are phenomenal. So if you got an idea as a filmmaker, or aspiring filmmaker, you can shoot your film, edit it. I mean, the editing softwares are available now, and there's nobody to tell you, you can't play this. You can get your film out on Facebook or Instagram, IGTV. I think allows you to upload, I think, an hour. YouTube. So you're going to see a lot more South African. You're already seeing a lot more South African content, you know, and it's exciting times. It's exciting time. I consider myself what you call an indie filmmaker. I'll go further and say an indie guerrilla filmmaker, because we bypass a lot of the kind of things that traditional big budget filmmakers do. You know, we go out there, we do our films, we do it on our terms, and you know, we try and get the content out, you know, through our own networks. So these exciting times. I'm not saying you know, there isn't a place for cinema anymore, but I'm saying there are options and opportunities for people, a lot more than what there was 10 years ago. It's very exciting times.
So, you know, it begs the question that really needs to be answered when we're talking about movies coming to the silver screen, and that your Attack of the Indian Werewolf, and unfortunately I could not get my hands on a copy. So you're going to give me a copy after the show, right? And I was eagerly awaiting for your movie to get onto the silver screen. And when I was back in Johannesburg, it never featured. What were the challenges in getting that movie? It was typically homegrown. It was lovely. You could identify with the characters, and you know, the language was typically the kind of language that we speak. And sometimes you wonder that, you know, this should be the way a movie has to be made.
Yeah.
I want to know those challenges, because I was following you on Facebook at that particular point in time, and you were very excited about the movie coming. We're going to have it here, we're going to have it here. But for me, I was disappointed because I didn't see. What were the challenges there?
Look, I mean, like I said, it was a different time. You know, that was made in 2010.
It's not a very long time ago, Masood.
10 years. 10 years. That's the exciting thing. You know, that so much has changed in the 10 years. You know, massive changes. Even perception. The problem what we had with the film, with Attack of the Indian Werewolf, you're talking about distribution. Why wasn't it on the circuit? Because there was a perception among certain gatekeepers who made these decisions, you know, about what played in the cinema and what didn't, was that there was no room or no potential for a hyper-local film. And that's what Attack of the Indian Werewolf is, hyper-local. You're talking about the nuances and the language. It was something that was very close to the Indian communities of South Africa. And there was a perception amongst those people who controlled film distribution, or, you know, access to cinema screens, that, nobody is going to support this.
Yeah.
Now, you know that this has changed dramatically. I saw it from my own experience at the advent of movies like Keeping Up with the Kandasamis, which proved that there was a market, and there still is a market for those kind of for hyper-local films, particularly with brown people in it. And nobody expected a movie like The Kandasamis and the sequel to be the success that those films actually were. Massive success. The perception has changed now. I must say, though, that with Attack of the Indian Werewolf, I was quite touched that Anand Singh's company, Video Vision Entertainment, actually picked it up for DVD distribution at the time. So they backed me in the beginning, and I'll always remember that, you know. They were willing to put their name on it. They slapped their name on it, the logo and everything, and made a go of it on the DVD front. But once again, there were prejudices within the retail sector which stopped the film from, like you say, you couldn't find a copy. I'll tell you a very, very quick story what happened there. You know, they took it to the retailers and said, here's this film. There's a lot of traction on social media. Why don't you guys... And the stores picked up minimal copies. They picked up minimal copies thinking that, you know, it's another Indian movie. No one's going to be keen on this. And the first day, all the copies were sold out. Every single copy. By the time they could restock, piracy had destroyed the film.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's my little sad story. But now like I said, it's different now. It's very different.
But we've got a happy story to tell now, because there's a new movie you've just produced.
Yeah.
And before we get to what the new movie is about that Masood is producing, take a look at this clip, and we're going to be right back.
Hello, Manu. You don't know me, but I know you. Santosh is my name. Check here. I'm interested in your car.
Look, I don't know how you found out about the car or how you know about it, but it's not for sale.
I tried to be reasonable. You see what happened to you? I told you to sell me the car. You don't listen. Nobody messes with Santosh.
Santosh, we never hear the last part you said. Say it again.
I said, nobody messes with Santosh.
We only heard Santosh.
No, boss, the line is very bad here. Nobody messes with Santosh.
Buy me data, boss. I'll call you back.
I know this sounds crazy, but like, this chicken came to save me. I keep seeing it in my dreams. What you saw was the golden cock
It has chosen you. Santosh and his gang have terrorized the city. If you plan to get your buddy's cab back, you will have to fight them.
Will you teach me?
I want you to catch me shad in this stream.
El master, this thing
But can't you shad your mother?
You and your brother stole my father's cortina. I came to kick your ass.
Santosh, we lost more guys.
What?
Yeah, Manu. Yeah, boy, are you boom banging the whole and all around town?
The fight is over for me, but for you, it's just begun. Make those mothers pay.
Two things, the title and the red Ford Cortina XR6 or the Interceptor. I want that car. I watched the clip. Oh, it's like the spaghetti western of karate movies.
Yeah, we had so much fun, man.
No, wait, listen, did you just sleep and wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to do this movie?
You know, it was a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah,
It definitely was. I'd been away from movies for 7 years,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
And because I'd been disillusioned by the things that I spoke about earlier, you know, and lockdown happened and COVID-19, and I felt this year was just turning out to be a complete depressing mess. I said, I got to do something, you know. I want to do something, even if it's a small film, you know. And we had ended up doing a commercial. You spoke about the social media adverts that we do, where this tire company guy wanted a kung fu theme
I watched that one.
advert. And we had so much fun doing this, and we said, imagine if we could do something like, like this in the feature length. And myself and the guys who worked on the film, we spoke about the movies that we enjoyed growing up, you know.
Yeah.
The Karate Kids and the Bruce Lee movies that we watched, and Jackie Chan, and, you know, all that genre, you know, that martial arts genre, and the Van Damme movies, the blood sports, and the Steven Seagal movies. And said, wow. And we said, hey, I wonder if we could do something. And we made a decision. We said, let's do this thing, you know. And we always spoke about how simple these plots were, you know. There was no, like, mind-boggling storyline here, you know. It was a simple thing.
Yeah.
So one thing led to the next, and I said, okay, what would drive a guy in Durban to go and learn kung fu and martial arts and go and fight bad people? So, well, probably if they stole his car.
The title,
Yeah.
The Golden Cock. It's a family show.
Yeah, no. That's your mind. It's
I
actual,
checked the video clip that
Yeah.
you were knocked out there and you're laying there and
Yeah.
then this chicken. So it's the chicken man who became.
well, not
the
really a
tough guy.
chicken man. So basically,
And
it's a
I want to
mythical-
know about the Interceptor. That
We'll get to
XR6.
that.
Yeah,
So
sure.
basically, the golden cock, it's our own mythology, but it also has some grounding in Eastern philosophies and Eastern culture. So in the movie, the golden cock is a mythical creature which infuses its power into a person and gives him strength and the ability to kick ass.
Yeah.
You know. So my character Manu, who has his car stolen by these gangsters, he goes and learns the way of the golden cock from Master Logi, who's a martial arts master in the film, played by Logi Naidu. So Master Logi's philosophies is the way of the golden cock, like the way you have the way of the dragon, and Cobra style martial arts, and the Lotus style and locust. You've seen them in
sure.
countless of these karate movies. You know, there's always some philosophy.
Now, did you guys get a choreographer to
Yes.
teach you, or did you just like decide? Nah, I watched the Bruce Lee movie, now I'm going to do the move, and I'm going to do the kicks, and
Listen, the original plan
Yeah.
was to just, wing this thing, but I'm so glad we didn't.
Right.
I'm so glad we didn't. I know a guy who I've known for many years. He's a martial arts expert that studied many styles.
Right.
He's globe-trotted. What I did with comedy, this guy did with martial arts. He
Yeah.
traveled to different places and learned and whatever. His name's Salim Badat.
I know Salim.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah,
talented
give
guy.
Salim some free publicity on the
wonderful.
show. Come on, man.
Wonderful. We should get him on the show. Wonderful guy and so skilled. So I got him involved. And I told him I got this ridiculous story,
Yeah.
but I need some choreography because at least, even though it's an action comedy, the action needs to look at least semi-legit. And initially Salim was a bit skeptical, because I told him like, how bizarre this thing is, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll help you. But I don't think he wanted his name attached to it initially.
Is he in the end credits?
Now he is.
Yeah, okay.
After we showed him some of the stuff that we cut, he's like, I think, don't forget to like mention me. So he came on board, and like every action scene he choreographed with us and taught me.
Yeah.
I'm no martial arts expert, but
I checked your moves, eh?
Yeah,
Very,
he actually,
like,
but he taught me the stuff on set, and every fight, we had Kung Fu, we had Muay Thai, we had Silat, we had Filipino martial arts. So he brought all that knowledge to the film, and actually gave it some sort of actual martial arts grounding.
Bring it to life. And
so now it's an actual martial arts genre film.
So you can fight now, Masood?
I feel like I can fight.
Actor, executive producer, screenplay, catering, producer,
driver,
directed, driver. So you
stuntman.
Everything about the movie. Everything.
That's the thing with these small films, You realize like there's so many different roles in when it comes to making a film. But when you're working indie guerrilla style, you realize you're wearing many hats,
Yeah.
And I must say, over my years in this business, I've done every kind of thing, I mean, when you don't have the money, you learn to do these things, And
well, hopefully we're going to be making the money. Just as we're rounding off, Masood,
yeah.
I just still want to know where you got that XR6 from, and where was the movie shot? And of course, as we conclude the show, I want to know where do you draw your inspiration from? So three-folded question there.
So the Ford Cortina XR6 was generously lent to the production by a gentleman from Clare Estate in Durban. He's in the credits. I don't know if he wants me to mention publicly, but anyway, his name's in the credits. Very, very lovely. What I think about Durban as such
what's his name? We don't need to publicize his company.
Ash.
Okay.
His name's Ash.
Thank you, Ash, for that.
Yeah. So the Durban car culture is so rich that we had our pick of cars. It was just a matter of who was available. But when it comes to featuring cars in a film, Durban is ever ready to help you. And there were some wonderful examples, that we could have chosen, but this is the one we got, and it's a beautiful car, and it's an iconic car in this part of the world. You asked about, I don't know what was the second thing you asked.
Inspiration. And I need to know the release date.
Oh, you want to know locations and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so the shot entirely in Durban, and a lot of local businesses also participated and helped us with this film. Some iconic locations like the Blue Lagoon. We shot in Japanese Garden. We went up to Paradise Valley. And, people will look at this film and realize, geez, especially like aspiring filmmakers, like, you really don't need to go far to get nice footage and nice locations. So that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Inspiration,
Durban itself
man.
is a beautiful place to shoot.
Durban's stunning, man. Durban itself inspires you, It doesn't matter whether you don't even have to be in the most affluent parts of Durban. You can just walk through certain parts of Durban and just see the potential.
But you've also shot in Sparks Road, right?
I always shoot in Sparks Road. I always shoot in Sparks Road. Sparks Road is always a character in my films because that's the sections I grew up in. So it always features somehow. We've been to Phoenix though. We've done stuff, I think. Did we go to Chatsworth? I can't remember. But we shot all over the place. Inspiration-wise, I tell you, life inspires me. People inspire me. Sometimes, whether it's ideas for, for the videos that we do or whatever, it just comes from just living and interacting with people, particularly in Durban. And that's what inspires me, the fact that we live in this beautiful place and, the wonderful nature of Durbanites and South African people in general inspire me to do things. And yeah, that's what basically drives me.
Release date, Masood?
All right, so we're releasing on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve.
Oh, lucky, just around the corner.
Yeah, just around the corner. And so far, we've been picked up by a select, we're working with the Cine Center Group.
Yeah.
They're doing 3 of their sites, Suncoast, Midlands Mall in Pietermaritzburg, and Killarney in Johannesburg. We're in talks with other cinema chains, nothing confirmed yet, but at a minimum, those will be the sites that will be released at on the 24th of December. Once it's off the cinema circuit, it'll be available for pay-per-view streaming for those who obviously couldn't get to a cinema for whatever reason. Yeah.
No, well, good luck on that, and I hope that audiences receive the movie very, very well. I'm looking forward to it. The burly, gentle giant who's an actor who looks more like a bodyguard. Masood, thank you very much for your time. Highly appreciated.
Always a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Please go out there, people. Christmas Eve, go and watch the movie The Golden Cock. Let's go and laugh at Masood and his collaborators. Thank you very much for watching this segment. We will be right back. Don't go away. One thing that we do not take notice of is the chance to explore our talent. Sometimes our career choice is not exactly the one that we should have pursued in the first place. And we blossom later in life with an awakening. Masood Boomgaard is one such person. From journalism to the arts, find your path. Tabloid Talk promotes social responsibility, and we cannot emphasize more that you should be mindful of the second and more serious COVID-19 wave. Please take care of yourself and your loved ones. Avoiding crowded places and gatherings is key to flattening the curve and stopping the virus in its tracks. Remember that the virus does not move itself. It is people who move the virus. Stay safe. Thank you for watching. I am Mohammed Ismail. See you soon.